What I have here is a custom framed Fuji Crystal Archive print, and I have actually framed this myself using the hinge mounting technique. There are some definite drawbacks to framing loose prints like this. One of which is that by doing a hinge mount, I would only recommend framing up to a certain size. This print here happens to be a 16 by 24, which is perfectly viable for this sort of mounting technique. But if you get into the really large sizes like 30 by 50 or 40 by 60, then there may not be enough stability in the print to stay in one place, or even worse, the print could get creases and show all sorts of ripple effects in the print. And that is something I do see quite often in prints in some galleries even. So, this is a very modern sort of look. It's a very minimalist frame and has a very elegant looking mat. This print was printed on a matte Canson rag photographique paper, which is a museum grade cotton rag. The archival longevity of this sort of paper is much longer than Fujifilm, though Fujifilm it will last longer than most of us will live anyways. So I don't think you will have an issue with either one of these papers as long as they're displayed under normal display conditions and not sitting in the blazing sun all day long. And I also framed this one myself. I went with a larger white mat this time and a smaller black molding. And this is also on non-glare acrylic. When it comes to loose prints, I do not offer my own framing for loose prints. If you were to purchase a loose print, then I would recommend working with a local framer. Next up here, we have a Fuji Crystal Archive print that has been dry mounted onto a piece of hard aluminum die bond backing. And the purpose of that is to give stability to the print so you don't see creases and wrinkles, especially in larger prints. Like I said before, if you were to hinge mount a much larger loose print, there's a good chance you may see wrinkling and ripples in the framing or in the print, and that's not desirable. It could ruin the print. By doing it this way, you're guaranteed to have a print that's laying flush against the backing and to give it support. And this Fuji Crystal Archive print is it's framed within a floater frame, and I like this 1/4 inch gap between the frame and the print, which gives it the effect of floating in air and being elevated. It helps it pop and stand out to the eye without using a formal mat. And the molding here is about 1 inch thick. And the other difference between this and metal dye sublimation Chromolux prints is that this is printed on a real photo paper, so you get all the details and color that you would get from a standard photo print, unlike Chromolux prints which suffer from a lack of sharpness. The drawback to this, however, compared to Chromolux prints, is that these prints are not as durable, since the exterior here is just a matte laminate here, and so you certainly don't want to get this wet, and nor do you want to touch it too much because it could scratch. But with that said, this is a very modern looking framing style, and I do like this, and I've seen this sort of framing technique used quite a bit in hospitals these days. Historically, artists have always signed artwork for I don't know how long, probably hundreds of years at this point. And the purpose of that is to add provenance and authenticity to the photo. And so about over a year ago, I decided that I too was going to start signing all of my artwork unless otherwise requested. And so there are prints in my personal collection that I do not sign sometimes, but for all artwork that I sell, I do sign it unless the client requests specifically to not sign it. And so I do sign these all individually, so there are no two signatures that are alike in all of the prints I offer to my clients. And I sign these with the Wacom tablet before sending these to my print lab. With this print here, I have a Lumichrome acrylic face mount print, and this has been externally framed with a modern looking Ramino frame with a white linen liner. What I like about this sort of framing style is that it's quite simple, but it's very elegant and very modern and luxurious looking at the same time. And the linen liner looks so much more beautiful than a standard paper mat. And this sort of frame, I believe this molding here is about 2 or 2.5 inches thick. So this one could be framed up to about, maybe safely up to 30 by 50 or up to 40 by 60 even, with some reinforcements there. But for the larger framing sizes, I would probably recommend a thicker molding here of about at least 3 or 4 inches. Let's take a closer look at this Ramino frame here. You have a very smooth and clean finish here, which like I said before, gives a very modern sort of appearance. And there's a little bevel on the inside there, which helps draw the eye towards the print. Then here we have the white linen liner, which has texture on there too. It looks much more elegant than a paper mat. Then of course we have the acrylic, the museum grade acrylic right behind that. I really like this framing style. It's very modern and sleek, and very beautiful and elegant looking. Here we have a Lumichrome acrylic face-mounted print, framed with a handmade Roma Tabacchino frame. And so this is a very large frame molding here. This is about 4 inches thick on the outside, and with I believe about a 3-inch black linen liner mat on top of that. So this is arguably the most elegant and luxurious print you could possibly buy with your money. And so there's a very classic sort of styling to this. There's a lot of texture in the frame, unlike the Ramino frame I showed, which is a very sleek and modern look. This is more of a timeless sort of look that's, it's certainly very eye-catching and not something you see every day. One of the benefits to having a very large and thick frame like this is that this is ideal for very large prints. The larger the print, the more sturdiness is required. Otherwise, the acrylic would fall out and break on you. So, having a very thick and sturdy frame like this is essential for very large prints. And so that's why I would recommend this if you're looking for prints that are 60 inches and above. Here we have the bevel on the black linen liner, then we have the acrylic face mount behind that. What I really like about this print in particular is a very 3D-like effect. As you look into the foreground and beyond here, it's literally, I could stare at this thing all day long, and I just feel like I'm drawn into the scene. I'm not sure what it is about this sort of printing technique, but it offers a 3D-like effect that I just do not see with other types of printing styles.